Hello everybody, Zen here, bringing you more Patch 2.0 content on the PTS. We're here in Hard Mode Scum and Villainy, and this is all pre-recorded content. So I'm on my Bounty Hunter, and we are with our guild group, which is really great to have them all in this, kind of figuring it out. We didn't look up any strategies or anything on the hard mode fights at all before coming in here, and we just kind of figured it out as we went, which I think is the best way to do it. That being said, none of this should be taken as a guide because, one, we're not doing it as efficiently as we probably should, and two, because the fight is probably going to change before it actually comes out. So that's that. Now, as for the changes between hard mode and story mode, the first is these two ads that come out. They progressively come out as long as you have the shield generator running because it, I guess it attracts them. Now, you can pretty easily just burn them down. You would think like, oh, it's just a couple ads, you know, that's easy to take care of. They have kind of something special, right? So they run up to the shield generator and they start attacking it. And that's not good because it reduces the time that the shield is actually on. If that happens, you know, if it turns off early, then you have to move on to the next shield, which means by the time you get to the last one, the shield will drop down before you can kill the boss, which isn't good because then everybody gets the stacking debuff. Now you can get there and say everybody has their personal environmental shield thing. You could pop that at the end and then that would be able to give you an extra minute, you know, but that's not good to begin with. So just keep that in mind. The other new thing is these ads. They will slow you when they hit you, and it's a pretty significant slow. Now you can break out of it, you can stun them, you can knock them back, you can do what you need to do, but make sure you're popping the environmental shield, which I totally forgot to do here, and work your way back to the group. This is just the way we did it. You could probably kill them on your own, but it would take you a little bit. It's best just to run back to the group and use whatever way you can possible. We have a pretty varied group, and everybody managed to be able to do it at one point. They figured out, okay, if I do this and this ability, I'm able to make it away from the ads and get back to the group, which is great. Now, what we did is we just had the person just book it back to the group in whatever way possible, AoE the ads down, and then focus on killing the birds again. You can do a tank swap, so in the normal mode stuff, in the story mode stuff, when the boss knocks you up in the air, if you're a tank like that just happened right there, you can taunt the boss, and you can do a tank swap there if you wanted to. What we had going around in our heads was if your guys out in the field are having an issue getting back and are dying, you can actually have a tank pop a shield, run out there, and grab the ads. It's a possibility. I wouldn't necessarily suggest it, but we were playing around with that idea. The knockback knocks everybody back. I don't know if that's a change from story mode to hard mode or not. Previously, I remember it was just a conal knockback. It doesn't really do that anymore. It just tends to knock everybody back. So we had everybody kind of sitting near the wall, as you see there. And we do that progressively. Now, a tank is also able to put themselves against the wall if they really want to. Personally, for me, I like using my charge because I get 2 free flame sweeps. So I try to get in there. However, the boss has a tendency of knocking you much further away than you would expect, so just be wary of that. And we're just going to move on through to the third shield here. We're just burning them as fast as we can. We're actually behind on DPS at this point, so keep that in mind. We are behind on DPS, and we actually have to sacrifice the last phase and just burn him down, and you'll see what I mean when we get there. Now, some other strategy you could probably do, you could probably just have the group stand, you know, out in the, I guess in the center of this area, and then have the tank against the wall, so the tank doesn't get knocked super far away, and then just AoE down the ads. Make sure you're having some good DPS focus down the birds that come, those 2 extra ads. That would probably be a good idea. That's what we found the most success in. And then we had one of our melee DPS focus on staying on the boss the entire time because we got to the end several times and just didn't have the DPS to kill him. That could be because of several factors, but that's just what we ended up doing, and it ended up working for us. So that's something that you can also do. Now, if you're a tank, you could also tank the boss while sitting against the little shield generator thing. You put your back to it. That helps. You won't get knocked back most of the time. There are times where it'll knock you over it, but if your back is right next to that shield generator that we just popped, you may not also get knocked back. But that's also something you can do with the ranged DPS and healers as well, so keep that in mind. Now, it just continues on like this. 2 people are going to get teleported, which is the normal mechanic of the fight. They're going to have to fight their way back and get to the shield. Now, this shield generator, when we get to it, it pops a lot earlier than we were expecting it to. You could probably sit in this for a minute until it runs out, or I don't know if it does run out, but you could probably sit in that phase for a little bit and burn the boss while you wait to start this phase, which would probably give you a little extra time here. But we weren't able to do that. So what we ended up doing is, you'll see here, I just burned down my ads real quick. I told them, you know what, just focus on the boss. Focus on the boss because we're not going to have the time. So that's exactly what we're doing. These ads managed to get in here and get all knocked around all over the place. So we're going to have to focus down the ads, or else they're going to kill the healers. Wasn't able to necessarily pick them up right there. So we burn down the ads real quick, and then we switch back to the boss as soon as most of them are dead. You see the boss is almost dead here, and it is very close. The enrage timer is actually fairly long, so you probably won't run into it anytime soon. If you do, you just need to make sure you're focusing down the boss. However, as you see here, we managed to kill the rest of the ads. I'm trying to taunt those off the shield generator so it won't pop, and we get the kill. Now, as far as his drops go, at the moment it drops the belt for the next gear set up, and it also dropped another piece, and then a blue color crystal, which is just a normal blue color crystal. Nothing too special there. Make sure you clear up the ads before doing the loot. I'm a loot whore though, so I just naturally loot it. And nothing too exciting as far as the loot goes except for the belt. So hopefully you guys can have a lot of success with it. We're going to move on now to the next boss, and then I'll be able to provide you guys with a video with that tomorrow. But on that note, we shall see you guys next time.